Right.
All right, guys, it's about that time. Are you ready? We're sitting on the mics.
We are? I don't feel it. Okay.
Okay, never mind.
There's one over here, I have it.
I would know.
So, guys.
And there's an extra chair. Who's the phantom?
I know.
Okay.
I hear Don Gibb is supposed to be around.
I'll tell you who that is. That's Don Gibb, and he plays ogre. And we can't find him. He's around here somewhere, but we don't know where. And, you know, we said, be here on time. He went, fuck you, I'm not going to be there on time.
Because that's the way he talks to us.
He says, I don't care what you're doing. I'm going to go, you know, do whatever I want.
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry. Okay.
Yeah, busy molesting.
So anyway,
Shut up.
I'm doing Don
We're one down.
since he's not here. But when he gets here and he makes his entrance, nobody do anything.
There it is. Just like,
We'll give up big trouble.
Sir, can I help you?
Sorry, sir.
I'm sorry,
Sir,
sir.
who
This
are
is for the
you?
cat. Oh, you.
Yeah.
well, I mean, truthfully, there is 2 extra chairs there because I'm bad at math, apparently. And I threw out an extra one and blame it on the California public school system.
Okay.
I thought you did that because Don's the biggest of all of us.
Well, that
And
could
needs
also be
2
true,
chairs.
but it's not true. I'll take the hit. I miscounted. Okay, so as per usual, I'm going to ask you questions about things that aren't nerd related.
Oh, hey,
Oy vey.
And
Oy vey.
then we're going to the audience, okay?
All right.
Okay, we'll start with Larry since he's on the end. Mr. Larry, sir.
Yes.
All right. Can you please tell us about working on Space Camp? I mean, that had Terry O'Quinn, Leah Thompson, Kelly Preston, a bunch of people in it.
Yeah, that actually a really interesting story about Space Camp, which because it's so long ago, folks probably don't remember.
They remember, Larry.
Yeah, it was actually the first film for 20th Century Fox filmed back then. And it was going to start their division about 30 minutes before, 30 days before the film dropped. The space shuttle blew up, which killed the climate for space shuttle. Excuse me for a second. Did we wake you?
Yes. Brian, which one was left? Ours? Oh, cool! Nice seeing you, nerds. God damn it.
All right, you can applaud him.
He just made the late appearance because he wanted the applause
Yes,
all to
yes,
himself.
That's our Don.
Now, before the interruption, Larry B was telling an interesting
Now they're gonna start playing. It goes from how much they love me to fuck you.
We're in the middle of something.
Yeah, so it's late again.
But we know you and still love you.
I love you guys. You know, I didn't mean it on purpose. It was the bathroom, and you know, should I talk about it?
Number 2. Number 2.
Yeah, so,
Can I explain the whole thing then? How loose it was?
No.
Tell you
no,
what,
no, we're not really into
let
the
Larry
details.
finish his story,
Okay, all right.
and then you can tell
All right,
him
all right.
about
I'm
your...
taking this. I know. I'm taking this bowel movement.
Yeah.
Forward. Stop laughing.
Stay away from that.
So Space Camp.
But Space Camp. So what happened was 30 days before, or a couple months before the movie dropped, Space Shuttle blew up, which killed the climate for space shuttle movies, obviously.
Speak up.
So what happened then was they didn't release it for like a year or two, but then something else happened. Cable was born, and HBO, it ended up being one of the best movies that started the HBO platform, because HBO at that time was known for R-rated movies and hearing stuff that you couldn't hear, and they didn't have any kid fare. So it ended up running on HBO for like 2 years. It was like one of the biggest films on HBO.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and another interesting thing is I actually got to see a space shuttle launch. They flew us to Florida, Cape Canaveral, to see a space shuttle launch, and we actually went to the actual space camp. For you guys who want to be astronauts, it is a brilliant experience. It really is. You think you know what a rocket is, but when you see it on TV, it's this small. When you go to Huntsville, you cannot believe how big this is. You have a whole new respect for the folks who go on top of that in front of. In fact, one of the astronauts, they said, "What do you think? What's the last thoughts right before you left off?" He said that everything in here was built by the lowest bidder.
Oh, God, that's hilarious.
Okay, go!
Really funny. That's really funny. Wow.
Andrew,
Hello.
you know, we talked about this before. I had you send a picture from it. It just tickles me so much. We've got to talk about again about TV 101.
TV 101, yeah.
The television show you did when you were how old?
That was 1989, so I would have been 17.
Right. Guys, if you don't know, it co-starred Matt LeBlanc,
Oh, yeah.
Stacey Dash, Terry Polo, a whole slew of people.
My best friend, Bryn Thayer.
Bryn
Yes.
Thayer, yeah. Bryn
Yes.
Thayer was in it, yeah.
And so many more. Sam Robards. Anyway,
She doesn't have best friends.
can you talk about your experiences on that show? Unfortunately, it didn't last that long, but I love it.
Yeah, we were all excited about it. It was like CBS's like big show for that thing. They were really behind that and Murphy Brown. And we had, I remember we got brought to CBS and had a whole big like party and like a I don't know, it was this whole thing. And then the show just never got traction. We were up against Head of the Class and what's
Don, quiet. Quiet.
You know what?
We're in class now.
I know, but
We're listening.
you know I've got 5 seconds. I have to talk again. So
Cali 101.
hurry it up.
Over now. No
it's
mumbling.
TV 101. It was a great show. It's on YouTube. Go check it out.
Yes.
It is, by the way, it's on the Dolls of Horror YouTube channel. There's a playlist dedicated to it if you were interested, okay?
Please check it out.
Yes.
It's fun. There was even a Revenge of the Nerds reference in one of the episodes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, someone was picking on him, and then someone was, you know, went from being a nerd to a popular, and they're like, what is this, Revenge of the Nerds? And you're like,
I'm sure they slipped that in there just for me.
yes. Okay then, Curtis, darling. Curtis,
You know what upset me?
Yes.
See, Larry got to tell the story about the astronauts, but I wanted to tell the story about the bathroom.
we're getting there.
Donald.
See, I always feel like slighted, you know what I'm saying? Okay.
That's what happens when you're late, sir.
I know. I shouldn't have come.
ADD or ADHD
I
or
should not have come.
HBO. I don't know what.
I have every letter of the alphabet problem. No,
Curtis, we are-
F, I got 8. Your ass. You're going out of here. I ain't playing, man.
I'll crawl under your legs and get away.
Yeah, you will.
We're in Chicago. Well, we're in Rosemont, but we're Chicago adjacent. You filmed here.
I did.
And Risky Business.
Risky Business.
Talk about experiences filming in Risky Business in Chicago and the surrounding areas.
Well, it was in the suburbs mainly, and it was my first movie, so I was very excited. And I actually wound up keeping a lot of that in my head because I assumed I'd only done theater at that point because anyway, no, not that. Private joke.
You're going to hear that like 50
There's
times.
another story coming.
I had only done theater, and so then I got this movie, and I thought, that's weird. So I came here, and I started keeping a journal on the first day. And I actually remember my thought process was, I have to write in this journal every day to remember what making a movie is like, because then when I'm old and I have grandchildren, I can read to them from my, can you believe this? But that's what I thought. So I kept this journal for the whole time I was here, every day. And I
Is any
still
of that
have
in
it.
your book?
Yes, it is in my
His
yes.
book is amazing.
It's also out of print, but
And we can get it at your table, right?
you can.
Can you believe Curtis
Get it out of your
Armstrong was saying
No, I
he
don't.
never thought he was going to do another movie again? Right? After Risky Business is his one and only,
Yeah, the man's got
Curtis Armstrong.
What?
I said, can you believe that Curtis Armstrong was writing in his journal thinking that's the only movie he's ever going to do?
Yeah. No, I did, and but you know, it was exciting, and being in Chicago, which I've been to Chicago before. I'm from Detroit, so we would go there. But it was just exciting being here and doing something so odd as making a movie.
Amazing, thank you. Julia.
Okay.
Okay, we're at a horror con, of course.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
You did one called The Kindred.
I knew you were going to ask about the Kindred. Okay.
Hey, I've been waiting a long time for this one.
Okay. Well, this was the one horror movie where I had to be covered from. This is the only one, maybe thank God, that I was covered in monster goo. I have a fabulous picture at my table. Oh, I have a fabulous picture at my table that I try not to show anyone of me literally with this monster slime. And yeah, it's very, very, very beautiful picture. I think I fell in a pit or something with the monster, and luckily, with my climbing skills, got out. Yeah, crawling out, and I'm like really gross.
That one sounds like a blockbuster.
Yeah, it was a
Ah,
blockbuster. But we had Talia Balsam in it. We had, I wish I could remember all the, who else was I was just talking to somebody at the con about it. They're like, we love this movie. I'm like, really? I'm like, okay.
It has gotten a resurgence on streaming. It has? It was on TV
Oh, I may
for a
have to
while.
watch it. I may have to watch it. But I did another horror movie called Girls' Night Out that people have come up to me and
John?
what? Don't
Yeah.
touch.
Julia is
It's my turn.
Sorry.
Yeah, I like that.
A lot of people like that one.
Yeah.
It's really funny. And that was my first movie in New York. I had finished on the soap opera and like I think I left the soap opera twice. I'm like, okay, I'm done. And I got that movie and we had a blast. It was my first experience, which was just a mere warm-up comparison to being on location with these guys. So I mean, but that was a fun movie. Yeah.
And you did Up the Creek, too.
And up the creek, oh God, yes. But still, that was
Oh,
only
they
a
know all
warm up
your shit.
to these guys.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Brian, you're up.
Right after
Hi. I have to say, thank you, Omar. And you know,
Omar.
it reminds me of Takashi going, I'm feeling fucking great. Story to follow later.
All right. So for you, you were a part of another very popular franchise, Police Academy.
Yeah, actually, for those of you who've seen it, when I was a kid, back when I was born,
Oh,
no,
boy,
that's not gonna be that long.
It's gonna take a while.
Yeah, I was this I played Sergeant Callahan, you know, Slover in the Police Academy movies. And what was interesting is I knew her. Her name's Leslie Easterbrook.
Yes.
I did who remembers Ricardo Montalban?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I did a play, The King and I, with Ricardo Montalban. He was the father, the king. I become the king when he dies. Leslie Easterbrook played one of his wives. And coincidentally, she's older than me, but coincidentally, we're in this play, and I have twin sisters. She played the mother of my twin sisters, one of the wives of Ricardo Montalban. So we did this play in Los Angeles, and then we went on tour. So you're like a family when, you know, you do a play, you know these people, and all of a sudden, after the play's over,
you disappear and you don't see anybody. But you were a family up until that point.
Yeah.
So decades later, went along, I go to see with my friends on Hollywood Boulevard at the Egyptian Theater. I remember going to see the first Police Academy. And lo and behold, I see on the screen, there you are, my beautiful Leslie Easterbrook. And I thought, oh my gosh, I haven't seen her for so many years. She had done a bunch of stuff. She was Rhonda and Laverne and Shirley, a bunch of things. Anyway, wouldn't you know it, I was so lucky. Warner Brothers wrote me in as her lover for subsequent Police Academies. And what was so great about it is because she did all the Police Academies, I was kind of indoctrinated into the cast. So I was an immediate family member, and it was one of the greatest experiences. I have to say though, even an ensemble film, you know, there's a lot of different personalities. It was great to be welcomed in, but nothing was like Revenge of the Nerds. Nothing, as far as the friendships, the people, the love, everything. This year is like the best. The best.
Well, that's no problem, so
Anyway, so that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
okay, Mr. Carradine. Okay, so I love this one. So let's talk about it. The remake of I Saw What You Did. That also starred Tammy Loren, Shawnee Smith, and your brother.
My brother David
That's
Carradine.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. Can we talk about any stories, experiences on that set?
No.
How was it like working with your brother
It
on
was
that movie?
great. I've worked with him
Yeah.
a few times, and it's always the best. You know, we go to the coffee table together. We're drinking coffee. They call us to the set. You know, we make them wait while we drink our coffee. And no, it was really great working with him.
Were you living with him at the time that you were doing the movie?
No, I was on my own by then.
That's weird.
Do you have any fun memories about working with the beautiful Shawnee Smith? You had some amazing scenes together.
Shawnee Smith and I became an item.
Oh my God.
Tell.
Do tell, sir.
Oh yeah, no, I was very much in love with her. I was working on a film in Italy. I flew her to Rome,
Oh, baby.
and Shawnee was pretty young.
Yeah.
And the drivers, when they got to the hotel with my daughter and Shawnee Smith, they said, which one's your daughter?
I get that a lot.
Robin the Cradle. Robin the Cradle.
Oh, Rob the Cradle. Oh, Ryan, you're more brilliant than I've come to know how brilliant he is. Oh, you know, I thought it was a dunderhead.
Okay, he wants his turn. Give him the mic.
No, God. You know what? I don't want to talk anymore because you guys don't like me, so I'm not talking.
Fine, Don.
Fine, Don.
Fine, Don.
Fine, John.
Well, I'm still going to ask you,
Weren't
and
they
you can
mean to me?
ignore me. Yo,
What? I have no attention span whatsoever.
Really?
we all know that.
haven't noticed. Oh my God. They're making fun of me. Oh shit, I'm gonna get hit. I'm gonna hit.
Okay,
What?
so, right here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I love the show First and 10.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's talk First and 10. Family, please.
Our friend
Yes, our friend O.J.
Friend
Simpson.
OJ.
Tell me about First and 10.
it was you know, the thing about First and 10 was it was HBO's very first show.
Yeah. Speaking of
So,
HBO, right?
You know, and I remember, you know, like the third season, they had me cast the guy that was going to play the guy that really like me would do. And I said, I looked at Aldo, I said,
Microphone.
oh, microphone. Well, I usually don't think I need one. So.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But you know, I looked at him and I said, you know, what are we doing here? I mean, nobody knows what it's on, you know. And then they finally kind of got serious about the fourth season. We were on Wednesday nights. They had billboards all over Los Angeles with my beautiful face. Nobody else is. First and 10 with Don Gibbons said.
Really?
Why are you guys laughing? See, I don't get this, you know? Everybody say something, they laugh. Let me ask you. Is it more sarcastic laugh, or do you think they really love me laugh?
We all love you.
Well, I don't believe you fucking. I don't believe you damn people either. Oh, there's no little kids in here. They're going, oh, that man has a dirty mouth.
We're at a horror comment there, okay.
Oh, thank God, yeah.
And you know, for the horror folks, First and 10, I think it's streaming on Tubi now. John
Is it?
Cassese is a major role
Oh
in it
my
as
God.
well. Crypt Keeper, right?
Yeah, Johnny used to
Shawnee was
Kick a
hilarious.
touchdown.
Yes.
I'm going, let's kick a touchdown, you moron.
Yes. So check it out.
He was great. We had all these people on that show.
So many people.
Chris Maloney was on it.
Yep.
Jason, whatever, Begay was on it.
Yes, who is a Chicago guy now, Chicago PD.
I mean, the people that came out of that show, you know, other than me, did pretty good.
They did do very well. Yes.
You know, it's a story of my life. You know that? Story of my life. Story of my life.
All right, thank you, Don.
Oh, no, thank you. Take the microphone. Take it away from me.
Take it away.
I'll start keep talking to you guys. I love you guys. I like them.
How many seasons was it, Don? How many seasons?
6.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
OJ did his deal, and
And then it wasn't anymore.
And killed the show.
oh yeah, pretty much. I mean, I think they were going to do another season, and they went, not a good idea.
Thank you guys so much for indulging me. This always, doing this pulls out the funnest stories, so I appreciate it. But now it's the audience's turn.
Oh,
Audience
no.
questions, right there. Hush.
Why did they let these people talk?
You, Don?
What?
I want to ask you about Bloodsport, working
Yes,
with
sir.
Van Damme. It's such a great movie. What was your experience like working with him?
What?
Van Damme, Bloodsport.
Let's board.
I have a, people ask me that when I'm at the table probably 1,000 times. And Sean and I put these little recorded buttons on there, and I just hit, he's a friggin' jerk. I don't even know what else to say, you know? I was like one of the worst human beings I've ever met.
Are you being serious?
Oh, it's horrible.
Oh, it's terrible.
I can tell
We
you
don't
it's
know
horrible.
when you're joking or being serious.
Well, no, because that's what I do. I like to make people not know if I'm serious or not. You know, that way they're scared of me, sorta. And then ask her. See what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I plan on, listen, you guys think I'm dumb. I plan all this shit out. I'm a kid. Even though it sounds stupid, it's planned. My buddy over there, Sean, he makes sure that I, put my pants on and, I'm good. Once they're on, my shoes are on, I'm a good guy,
You're
right?
good after that.
I don't sound dumb, do I?
No.
No.
Anybody else impressed with John Gibb? The rest of you people are going to go away. Okay.
And then the straight jacket gets put on
Right.
underneath.
Yeah, they'll carry me out of here. Yeah. Till I get to my table. They let me loose. They say, Sean, get him. Get him. You guys are going to put that leash on me, are you?
No leash, sir. Okay, who else? Ashley.
This is for anyone, everyone. Don can go last.
Yes. Everybody makes fun of me. You.
What were some of the most challenging moments to film on Nerds as far as getting through it and not just breaking or just soaking up the ridiculousness of some of it? What were some of the hardest parts to get through
Without laughing?
without ruining it?
Well, one of the hardest parts to get through for me was the scene where I was on the moonwalk with Betty. That was really difficult.
That would have been difficult.
Yeah, it was hard.
It sure was.
That's why you nerds get chicks. Because it's always hard.
Anyone else want to contribute?
That's like science.
I remember in Nerds 2, there's a scene where we're in jail or whatever, and some tough guy tries to intimidate Bobby, and Bobby just freaks out and intimidates everybody else. And his bit was so hilarious that I couldn't get through a single take. I kept on doing it and doing it, and they finally were just like, just
Cut him out.
yeah, just cut him out. We just have to get this scene. It doesn't necessarily have to be in there. No one's gonna notice it. I was still in the scene, but like not for that shot, because I could not keep it together. It was just hilarious. I can't
You know
even
what? I
describe it.
forgot about that scene. I really let loose on
Was
that.
it like a monologue?
Well, I cussed him out. basically.
Story.
Oh, Don has a story.
Thank you.
Get off your phone, John. There are
I'm
no
not on my phone.
Julia, you know what? We're all of a sudden one of us is going to be missing, and it won't be a guy.
Guy. Uh-oh. But I always tell you guys this story. It's like, I think, what is it, the second one, right? When you guys are all talking about speed of light and all this bullshit, And I'm laying there thinking, God, what am I going to say? So all of a sudden I go, what if CAT really supposed to go? The whole crew started running, and these people have seen me for 2 months. So it's funny when they run away and have to go. And the director went, you can't laugh!
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I'm pretty funny.
So if there's one person in this panel that's missing today, you'll know who it is.
Thank you, Don.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Anyone else want to contribute to that answer?
What was the question?
It was difficult to get through without laughing. If you have one.
Oh, all right. In Revenge of the Nerds, I played Takashi, and there is the Greek games where we are against the everybody else. The jocks. The alphabet is everybody else. Well, there is this one scene where Takashi has to show up and has to get on a tricycle and go around and take a beer every time he goes around. And it's a big race. Well, there's no such thing as trichloromethylene, which is the counter effect of all alcohol in your system. So it was a nice, beautiful, hot day in Tucson, Arizona, where we were filming.
That's right.
And so the main cast comes to the set, and we meet up with the prop guy. Prop guy goes, okay, you have a choice. You can have a soda that we dress to look like a beer, or you can have some cold beers if you like for the set. Are you fucking kidding me? Of course I want a cold beer. Right? Okay, I just was not thinking because, when you film, you take, shot, and another angle. Take, shot, another. Well, there was a scene where there's Anthony Edwards, Tim Busfield, and Bobby Carradine. And there's three of them here, and Takashi keeps coming. Say you're the camera, right? And they said, we're gonna just keep shooting. And so there was somebody behind me on the tricycle, and they just said, we're gonna keep the camera running, just keep coming up with stuff. Okay, so they pushed me in, they give me a beer, and I come up with, oh man, these guys, we're gonna kill them now. And they push me back. They push me back in, give me another beer. Oh yeah, and come up, oh yeah, we're gonna get these guys now. Well, we're going back and forth, the camera's still going, they finally pushed me in. I had another beer, and he goes, Bobby goes, how you feeling, Takashi? I go, oh, fucking great! And they kept that in, that was in the script.
Yeah, because I had to chase you, remember? Yeah. You were ripped.
I was ripped.
I thought you were going to fall off.
You're right, I did. Yeah.
I told the
Did you
director,
ever
I go,
fall off on
you're
it?
going to fall off
Did
again.
you ever topple?
No, Tony and Bobby picked me up and took me around.
Oh, that's nice. Anyone else want to contribute to that one?
Well, mine is not really a funny one, but it was a true one. The javelin throw, you guys may be crazy. I had the craziest fever back then, and was belching and all. And I said, look, I can't do it. I can't shoot anything. They were like, well, can you just come out and shoot this one time? And I said, okay, I'll give you one take. Hope it works. And so we did the one take, and look what it turned into. You just never know.
I think it's one of the most recognizable things, I really do. Because everybody asks me that. Well, of course, they ask me if you're really gay, and I'm like, no.
I'm really happy.
I don't get but I think he's straight as an arrow, and more straight than any of us. Whatever. That's good acting, my friend.
Okay, so mine is not a funny one, but mine is, I love so much when my character turns to the love part, once I fall in love with Bobby Lewis. And, so, well, anyway, over the years, anyway, I'm moving on. But the scene that I just totally slays me, and, it's the last scene in the movie. And, he does his incredible monologue, and every friggin' time I'm like crying. And it's so, because it's such a true and beautiful meaning to the whole thing. And so, it was so easy to do that, running into him with my total glee and love. And that to me encapsulates the entire meaning of the movie and why it's so special and why we all relate to it.
Still holds up today.
What's that?
It still holds up today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
40 years later, and we're still alive.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about me for too long.
Yes,
but-
Richard.
When you see on the list on the internet of movies that could never be made today, Revenge of the Nerds is always one of two movies on the list. how do you guys feel about a reboot? Like, and how close to the material do you think Hollywood will ever reboot the rest of theirs?
Will the reboot happen? Ever?
They tried to do one.
They did.
Yeah. I forget when it was, like 2005
Yeah, they cut
or
it.
something like that.
Yeah, they
And
shut
they
it
shot
down.
like
It's
three.
not
They shot like 2 weeks of principal photography on it, and I don't know what the decision was. If they were like, we're just not getting the.
No, the reason why they shut it down is the school got a hold of the script and it was so disgusting they shut it down.
Oh, that's right.
But it had nothing to do without, we weren't in it.
Yeah.
But the other part of that was the school, and was it Duke or one of those? I can't remember.
I think it was Duke.
It was Duke,
Yeah.
where they were shooting it, and they got hold of they had been given a fake script, which was very mild and with all of the disgusting stuff excised. We did the same thing at University of Arizona. They passed.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Is it a different version?
Jeff Canoe told me this, that they had a fake version of the script because they knew the university wouldn't sign on to letting us shoot there and have their students as extras if there was anything untoward about the script. So they faked a script and gave it to them, and they said, "Oh, this is fine, sure."
Be topless,
So-
hair pie, whatever.
We left that out.
I know, that wasn't in our original script.
No. That was a wardrobe malfunction.
Well, one of the things that was in the original script was the robot that we had
Yeah, that's
was supposed to go around and get erections. And I told whoever it was, producer, director, somebody, said, "Don't do that. It's crass."
It's funny when you think about some of the things that stayed in. Like they were concerned about the robot getting an erection.
Chris, I have a question for you, sir. What does untoward mean?
It means not towards something. It means-
Oh, it means like you're going away from it.
Yeah.
I knew that. I didn't need that. I didn't need your help with that one. I thought it was something more.
Sorry, I should have expressed
So do you
myself.
think the fake script was better than the one that we read?
I-
Could we actually use?
Who knows?
I mean, it couldn't have been any worse. I mean,
Anyone else back there? Yes.
Question for Robert. Any memories from Escape from LA?
Yeah, when I heard that film was being shot, I tracked down John Carpenter. I'd worked with him before on Body Bags, so we had a relationship. I said, "John, I really want to be in this movie." He said, "Well, it's kind of already cast, unless you're willing to shave your head." I go, "Shave my head?" He says, "Yeah, I haven't cast the skinhead yet." I said, "Do you really have to shave my head? Can't you just put on a skull cap?" He said, "Oh, those always look fake." I said, "Well, what if I came down to the set and had them fit one just to see what you think?" And he said, "Okay, I'll do that." So I show up at the set. It's in the evening, somewhere in downtown LA. I go in the makeup trailer, and there's a family called the Westmores that are very famous for makeup. And it was one of the Westmores that put on my skull cap. And I went over and I saw John. It took like 3 hours to put this cap on. And I went over and I saw John. I said, "Well, what do you think?" He says, "Yeah, you shaved your head."
No.
So that was Escape from LA for me.
I just want to add the Westmores, a famous makeup dynasty.
Yeah.
The Westmores also worked on his brother David Carradine's TV series Kung Fu, and they had a lot of experience doing skull caps for us. So you couldn't get any better. You couldn't find any
I had the right
any
group.
better. The right group.
The thing about the skull cap was they take like shellac and they shellac your hair down really tight to your skull, and it's like the active ingredient in hairspray. So after I finish shooting, they take off the skull cap, but they have to get that lacquer out of my head.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the hair is just going to break off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, it was really scary.
Yeah.
Very scary.
Because he has beautiful hair.
I know, right? Good girl.
Behave.
That's actually a compliment.
Right there. Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
talked at his table about one of my favorite movies, which is Fear of a Black Hat, which he was in. I don't know if anybody's ever seen that, but it's amazing. If you haven't seen it, you should go check it out. But my question is, like, so that was filming around the same time that CD4 was filming, which is like a very kind of similar, you know, concept of like a behind the scenes kind of look at, what's that? Yeah, like a mockumentary about like hip hop. And I was wondering if you guys were like aware that those movies were being filmed around the same time, like if you guys were aware.
No,
and if
you know, when you're filming, I think that was done on the East Coast. It was, you know, you don't know when you're filming what's being done. Sometimes you do, but for the most part, you don't know.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, Fear of a Black Hat is kind of like the rap version of Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
So if you like Spinal Tap, this is the rap version of it. And I played Tasty. I'm gonna put the cat in your ass. I'll tell you a real interesting story about Fear of a Black Hat. Is I had a Jerry curl wig, and I had Jerry curl was like really curly and wig, bushy. And that time I liked to go into character. So I wore the wig and tried to like get a date and get Tasty. So I went to this girl and she was dating me as Tasty. And then when the film was done, I took off the wig, shaved my hair, and said, hey, so that I'm not really like that at all. She was like, click. I said, wait a minute, I thought you'd like me as
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, we didn't know. It was just different versions. And it's almost like this. I mean, we went to the Nerds back then. There were a bunch of college-type movies going out. You're aware of them, but you don't really know what's going on. You just try to do the best job you can.
Yeah.
I think Fox said Johnny Dangerous was going to be their big movie. I guess it was filmed at the same time we were.
No, it was Rhinestone was going to be the big one.
No, I was talking to Canoe, and he
Was it
said,
Johnny
you know,
Dangerous thing?
Fox is all talking about how Johnny Dangerous is going to be a great film, boy. And, you know, he said, wait till they get our dailies. And they did.
But I will say something that nobody here, if you guys want to know some interesting stuff, one of the major reasons that Revenge of the Nerds was good because of that guy right there, Bobby Carradine.
Yes. Yep.
He did something. And he deserves it. He made a choice, and this is my acting coach side of my brain talking, that really cemented I think the well-being of the movie, and that was he decided to play it real. And if you go to his table, he's got a photo of him as Lewis, and it's a photo of him, and he's got the plaid pants and the protector. But what really got me was his shoelace was untied, and his sock wasn't even all the way pulled up. but here's what tripped me out. We go remember, you're in Tucson, Arizona. This is 40 years ago, okay? So we show up, and of course we don't know each other at first, and you're wondering what everybody's like. So you can't wait till you don't care. Hey, Bobby Carradine's okay. And I know him from all this other stuff. And when I see Bobby, he's dressed like Lewis. Outside playing with a model airplane. Him and Tony Edwards, and they look just like they look in the movie. And I remember telling Tim, going, these guys are really like this. And so what it did is it let us know to play this real. And I think that was a great choice by him. And you follow the leader. He was the leader for us there, and it made it real. And I think that's one of the reasons this is sets aside from the other movies. The other movies play it campy, and Bobby was smart enough to decide to play this real, because I think he'll say it, when you're a nerd, what did he used to say? You got a great story. You used to dress up and did what? When you're a nerd, you don't know that you're
getting older, it's like hard to remember yesterday.
Give me a hint.
Give me a hint. Like tell us the whole story, we can regurgitate.
When you're a nerd, you don't know
Oh,
you're
right.
a nerd.
When you're a nerd, you don't know you're a nerd. You think you're just a regular person.
Yeah.
And how did he find out that you have a story about you went out, you went in?
Well, I went to the location 2 weeks early, and I purposely left all of my clothes at my house, and I took my wardrobe with me. So if I was going to leave my hotel room, I had to dress as the nerd. So I didn't leave the hotel room for about 4 days. I was living off of, room service, and I was getting cabin fever. I had to get out of there. So I got dressed as Lewis, and I went out, and I'm like ready for the shit to hit the fan, and nobody even reacted. They just figure I'm an engineering student from U of A. So yeah, it was worth it.
You know, it just shows you that nobody really looks at your character. You don't think, oh man, I can't go out looking like this, and everything. Nobody's paying any attention. You know.
You know, just that character was so far from who I am that I had to go there 2 weeks early just to get away from all my cool stuff in LA.
And his cool girlfriends and all, you know, the whole thing. All the way down the line. Yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah, I was just saying, one of the things that was really cool about Revenge of the Nerds is, you know, it was 20th Century Fox, which is a major studio. Studios do not send main cast members out to location a couple of weeks before principal photography to rehearse and to bond. But for some reason, it was decided that they were going to send the key cast members out to Arizona so that we can rehearse and bond. And believe it or not, it was such an amazing thing because we rehearsed and we bonded. And we developed relationships amongst each other that ordinarily you might not get when you're just thrown into a set. All of a sudden you start working. You know, we got to know each other first. And I think it really made a difference because back then, this is 1983, we started filming this. To this day, we are all really close. We're really tight friends. It made a big difference.
Wasn't at those 2 weeks. Tell me who was. No, you tell. I wasn't in it. They didn't invite me.
But we still fell in love with Don anyway.
Oh, he wasn't there because they knew that he was there the whole time. You're like,
Right away.
But you were a jock. You weren't a nerd.
Right,
you were a jock. You became a nerd later.
You know, another thing about that idea of sending the cast and all that, my experience in movies for the first 3 films I did, which were Risky Business, Nerds, and the one no one talks about, Clan of the Cave Bear.
all right, homework for next time.
Yeah.
I know that movie.
You're the first person I've ever met who could say that. But in all 3 of those cases, that's what they did. They sent us out. In Risky Business, we got there 2 weeks early before principal photography. Every morning they would pick us up at the hotel. Tom Cruise.
Out
me.
here?
Huh?
Out here?
Yeah, out in the Lincolnwood Hyatt, which is now gone, but it was there at the time. And they would take us and they would drive us to a mall, because the idea was these are all high school students. So what high school? They'd go to the mall, and they would drop us at the mall and leave us there, and we would have to stay at the mall all day until they came and picked us up in the evening. And we would, you know, go to record stores and go to, you know, buy new shoes and shit like this because we were supposed to be teenagers. I was 30, so it was kind of unusual for me.
So Andrew, you know, they talked about the whole process of going 2 weeks early, getting to know each other. You were much younger. Were you included on all that, or did you come late?
I think I was. I do remember getting there early and seeing Bobby for the first time in character, and like they said, and just being like, oh wow, this is crazy. Is that what he's really like? But no, it wasn't what he was really like. But yeah, I was there, and we did rehearsals and stuff like that. But I don't remember the first 2 weeks that as well as some of the film. When the filming got started, that was really the exciting part. Like I was just kind of there. It was my first movie. I had no idea what to expect. So
Explain what your day is like as a child actor. It's different than a regular actor.
yeah. There's all these rules where you have to go to school, and they get you a tutor, and then they set up a little place where you can go. So anytime there's downtime on the set, you have to go to school. And I think the AD was putting me in school just to make sure I didn't see anything. He was very, very nervous, always trying to get me in there. It was supposed to be 3 hours a day, 15 a week, but he was always like, no, we gotta log extra hours just in case we need you next week or something like that. Total bullshit.
Meanwhile, there's just a new
Unbelievable bullshit. Yeah, they're just trying to keep me from seeing anything. But you know, I missed out on the parties. That's right. That's right. Of course, you know, we had to. There was one party. It was in Larry's room, and I guess my mom and I we were all there. Larry was just like, "Oh, Mrs. Cassese," he's like, "You're probably not going to want to be here in 20 minutes." And she was just like, "Got it."
What was happening? I forgot what we did in 20 minutes. I
You know me, I don't know nothing about nothing.
I certainly don't know because I wasn't there. So.
Okay, one more audience question. The man in the front.
This one's for Robert. Are you still able to do your famous laugh?
In the mic.
Wait, hold on a second.
Yeah, do that. Do it in the mic.
Wrap us up. Last one is for Larry and Andrew. Can you take us out with your song?
Okay, but I'm gonna need your help first now, right? Okay. So first we're gonna go with can you clap your hands? Clap your hands, clap your hands, clap your hands, clap your hands. I said clap your hands, everybody, and everybody clap your hands. And we're lamb the end. Okay, move. And we come here on stage tonight to do a show for you. We got a rockin' rhythm and a high-tech sound that'll make you move your body down to the ground. We got Poindexter on the violin and Louis and you will be joining in. We got Booger Presley on the mean guitar and a rap by Will Oatmeal. Look up, we got the Carradine on his gun. The boys in the mood are serving them all. And just when you thought you seen it all, along comes a land of four.
You guys are the best. Thank you, everybody. You guys are so great. We love you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna start here. So just go down and just.
Let's get there. Hey, bud. I'm not talking about what's between my legs. Oh, Jesus.
All right, here we go.
Ready?
Nasty.
Hi, you man.
All right, thank you. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.